The smoke from Oyo-ile had long risen into the heavens, but the pain in Ajanaku's chest hadn't settled. The once indomitable walls of the empire now lay in ash. He stood at the edge of the city's remains, his cloak heavy with soot, his spirit heavier with guilt. Ajanaku was disheartened. The Dahome's banners fluttered arrogantly in the wind. Their warriors had ransacked the sacred halls where the Orisha once walked. But the gods were not done with him. With a heart scorched by vengeance and a vow burning in his throat, Ajanaku turned south to Ogbomosho, land of the Sun King, and home to the last bastion of resistance. Ajanaku dropped to his knees amid the ruins of Oyo-ile. Ash swirled around him, drawn in by a storm building where no storm should be. His fists pounded the scorched earth, once sacred, now defiled. His chest heaved, not just with grief, but with a fury too ancient for words. The sky darkened. A low rumble of thunder cracked the silence. The white chalk on his face began to glow, pulsing with rhythm like drums from the spirit world answering his pain. Lightning danced along his dreadlocks, snaking down his back, sparking the beads threaded through each lock. Then he screamed. A scream torn from the soul of a broken warrior. And as his mouth opened, the ground cracked beneath him. Trees stone melted into smoke. His eyes glowed white. For a moment, Ajanaku wasn't just a man mourning his kingdom. He was vengeance made flesh. The thunder of Saga, the wrath of forgotten ancestors. And the gods finally stirred. Ajanaku departed the ruins of Oyo. The path to Ogbomosho wasn't paved in stone, it was carved in debris. Ajanaku traveled for 3 nights and hid during the day. He meticulously treaded and navigated the dense, bushy path by night to avoid Dahomey scouts. On the 3rd night, he crossed the haunted plains of Ijoka, where whispers of the dead filled the air. Ujoka, a place where the air remembers the dead and the wind speaks in the tongues of ancestors. Ajanku was cautious. He could feel the evil twinging in his essence. Every fiber of his lock stood sensitive. He soldiered on, but with caution. He moved like a shadow until the shadows moved first. She rose, her eyes of fire voiced like 1,000 whispers. But Ajanaku had not come to run. He charges towards the mist without hesitation, invoking the ancestral spirits and soliciting aid through incantations and mystery chants. The bloodshot moon was the perfect lightning to what was to follow. A battle to the death ensued. Manvi spirit, the bloodshot moon was the perfect lightning to what was to follow. A battle to the death ensued. The battle was intense, blow for blow, flesh for flesh, charm for charm. They did battle for hours. But Ajanaku did not tire. For the spirit of Sango ruins through his veins. Ajanaku had a conviction. He cannot die, he will not wither. He called upon what he had learned at Sango's temple, not just to fight, but to command. And when the gods answered, even the forest held its breath. With one final blow, Ajanaku triumphs. The gates of Ogbomosho rose before him, tall, bronze, alive with carvings of ancient warriors. The revered king with eyes that saw both history and prophecy. Ajanaku was ushered in by the king's guard. He knelt before the sound. "I come not as the son of Sango, but as a shadow," Ajanaku declared. "A shadow that carries thunder in its wake." The king, the wise men, and his trusted man witch listened. They listened. When Ajanaku named the horrors the Dahomey had unleashed, the murder of priests, the desecration of shrines, the capture of the the king summoned his elite council, the evergreen below. Warriors long retired but never defeated. Each bore scars. Each wielded stories as weapons. One by one they rose to their feet. "Let us show the Dahomey," growled Balogan Mefa, "that not all the gods have fallen." As war plans were drawn and drums of vengeance began to beat again, fate whispered something else into Ajanaku's path. He saw her in the royal court. A woman cloaked in gold and coral, her face turned to the sun, her eyes closed in silent prayer. When she opened them, they met his, and time paused. A joke, they later told him her name was, first daughter of the Sound and keeper of ancestral songs. And a woman whose spirit burned as fiercely as his rage. Their first words weren't words at all, but silence, stolen glances, the stillness before a storm. Ajanaku wants revenge. He now thinks he'll need more than his swords. He believes he now has a reason to live. Her name lingered on his lips. A joke, he smiled. He didn't know it yet, but is she the reason why he will succeed or fail? That night, after the war council was dismissed and the evergreen Balogans had retired to prayer and preparation, Ajanaku stood alone in the sacred garden of the queen. He gazed at the moonlit horizon, the direction of Oyoil. His fists tightened as visions of the fallen city returned to him. Children's sandals scattered in bloodied courtyards. The royal banners burning the silence of gods who once roared. Suddenly a breeze shifted, leaves trembled, and out of the darkness, a messenger. He held out a scroll. Ajanaku took it. He unrolled it slowly. His eyes scanned the crude ink until they froze at the bottom. A seal, pressed in black wax, the seal of Iku, the god of death. Below it, just 5 words: "I know who betrayed Oyo." Ajanaku's heart stopped.